Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well, hope you're all doing fantastic, and that you're all having an absolutely wonderful and incredible day. Don't forget to leave a like on the video. It is a free and easy and free way to help support the channel. The more likes I get, the more the YouTube algorithm actually shows me to other people, the better it is for the channel. And without any further ado, let's jump right into it. There's been a shift, like an actual shift. I'm sure you see it. I'm sure you feel it. There's a lot of Ripple. There's a lot of XRP news in the last couple of weeks. I believe a large portion of it has come from, nearly explicitly from the Fed's rate cuts. We've seen prices moving up, the optimism moving back into the market. We are currently in this really weird pseudo space where everyone's trying to figure out which coins are going to perform the best. And I'll say, for me, it usually has nothing to do with like the best, as long as they simply perform well, if you will. However, in the last 2 weeks, you have definitely noticed an uptick. There is normally only Bitcoin and Ethereum news. There might be a sprinkle of some Cardano. There might be a Dogecoin, Shiba Inu every now and again. But if we did get XRP news, it tends to be once a week, maybe every even 2 weeks. We had news a day or two ago. Whales are buying huge amounts of XRP right now. That was the usual news that we typically get for Bitcoin and Ethereum. It is always whales are buying Bitcoin, whales are buying Ether, whale alert, whales bought more Bitcoin, Ethereum's experiencing whale activity, yada yada. I think the news was in a day or a couple of days, whales bought around 360 million XRP. I think one of the highest numbers that we've ever seen in like a short period of time. And we keep getting this like rolling in of news, of price predictions. If you haven't been seeing them, people are expecting a $20, $24, $27 XRP during this cycle. I've seen the charts. I've seen everyone talking about it. The prices have been moving down for 4 years. It created a triangle that had a thing on it, and then that triangle represents a breakout. And then once Bitcoin goes over a certain number, XRP also breaks out, and then XRP is going to go to $7. And once it goes to $7, I've heard all of it. It's you wouldn't believe that the renewed optimism for this coin has been quite staggering. We heard recently, as the lawsuit more or less ended in summer. I think it was summer, right? Am I going crazy? Yeah, it was summertime. XRP was recently relisted on Robinhood, and it got listed on some other website. And then Grayscale made an XRP trust. So Grayscale was the first company to basically have cryptocurrency ETFs before the letter ETFs were kind of thrown in there. And it's believed that as Ripple is buying treasury bills and minting treasury bills on the XRP blockchain, and they're also making their own stablecoin, and Grayscale is all these colors. Grayscale now has an XRP trust. This is basically going to be the precursor to an XRP ETF. Everyone got that? This is usually like the trend that we typically see. We heard from the Ripple CEO before a couple of months ago. He's also expecting an XRP ETF. And basically, I think Q1 is kind of the expectation for it. What have you. Grayscale's XRP trust has grown noticeably since it launched, a development which spells positive momentum for the digital asset. As one of the leading cryptocurrency asset managers in the world, Grayscale's decision to unveil the XRP trust in the US last week signaled the beginning of an institutional influx of funds into the cryptocurrency. Once they launched this, we started getting more XRP news. There was like a couple of articles that were floating around talking about like the amount of money that was flowing in, not into funds, but like into the ecosystem like per day. And then we had news recently of the actual whale activity. So, I mean, if we can be completely honest, we are probably going to get an XRP ETF sometime next year. It's just more so a matter of when. There are a lot of people who are talking about, I mean, XRP going, I mean, you don't understand the drive and the energy behind this coin right now. Yeah. Since its debut, the Grayscale XRP Trust has performed remarkably well. Data indicates that the trust's value has surged by 11.4%, a clear indication of strong demand from institutional investors. Grayscale's XRP Trust tracks the price of the altcoin, and investors buy shares of the trust to gain exposure to the crypto. It is the exact same thing as an ETF. When talking about the momentum building behind Grayscale's XRP Trust, we are looking at the NAV, the net asset value. The net asset value is a measure of the value of each share in the trust and is calculated after each business day. A rising NAV is an indicator of increased institutional investment in the trust. As such, an increase in the NAV relates to a bullish sentiment among traders and the spot price of XRP. And they have a little chart over here as well. The next step is more than likely going to be Grayscale converting the trust into an actual ETF. This will probably take multiple months, but Grayscale is in a very peculiar position in that when they apply for stuff, they kind of get it. For those of you who don't know, the SEC rejected Grayscale's transformation of their trusts into ETFs multiple times over the course of the better half of a decade. Then Grayscale took them to court, and Grayscale won. And then Grayscale got a Bitcoin ETF, and then Grayscale got an Ethereum ETF. So the institutional demand has always been there, but I think it's kind of, what do you call it? I think more people are beginning to take notice, and of course they will even more as XRP's price continues to rise. If we get to like $1.50, $2 XRP, I think that's when basically people will flood back into the market, like for this coin. It's very interesting to see, like, no, really. It's like quite fascinating to see the momentum and the strength that's picking up with this. I think we'll see a lot more when they launch their stable coin, like properly, because they said they're launching it first with institutions, and then those institutions will basically leak it to the crypto exchanges. They're also supposed to go public next year as well. So, I mean, if we can be honest, I think it would honestly be a bit weird, and I mean like weird. If we don't get to like a $20 XRP, it's going to be kind of odd with all the momentum and stuff that they have going on. And for those of you who don't know, every transaction is also burning XRP in the background as well. So that'll only accelerate if they start doing billions of dollars worth of transactions monthly through their stablecoin. Yeah. That's the Grayscale XRP Trust is picking up. A lot of whales are buying XRP. I'm sure a lot of normal people are buying XRP. Yeah. Okie dokie. Let's move on. Also in the news, according to data released by Into the Block and reported by Coinotag, sure, on the 15th of September, the initial phase of staking Bitcoin has recently begun. As of now, the market value of staked Bitcoin remains less than 1% when compared to the market value of wrapped Bitcoin tokens. Looking ahead, expectations are set for an increase in the lending of additional wrapped tokens such as WBTC and CBBTC, aimed at exchanging them for Bitcoin staking tokens within the forthcoming weeks. Let me explain. I know it's slightly confusing. It makes a lot of sense. I promise you it will. Coinbase recently announced, in an effort to basically get more attention to them, that they're launching their own Bitcoin, but it's not what you think. It's a wrapped Bitcoin, which we already have, but they're making their own. CBBTC is Coinbase Bitcoin. It's basically a marketing tool by them to say that they have an easier way to be able to transact in Bitcoin. A lot of these things are normally touted as something for Web3, something for DeFi. The idea would be, let's say you want to transact in Bitcoin or the value of Bitcoin on another chain with your Bitcoin. But as Bitcoin doesn't belong on Ethereum, you basically would lock in your Bitcoin into a smart contract and you would receive wrapped Bitcoin. It's wrapped in the chain. And you would then be able to lend out your Bitcoin, which is typically the idea behind it. Lend out your Bitcoin or use the value of your Bitcoin on another chain. It's meant to be Bitcoin has a higher value, therefore you can do a lot more on another chain. And as opposed to just 3 to 5 transactions per second, you can benefit from 1,000, 10,000, 50,000 transactions per second, however many transactions these coins actually have. The secondary idea for wrapping is actually making Bitcoin more scarce. This is something that usually is not talked about, but it's kind of the larger component of the entire thing. If you take your Bitcoin and you decide to transact on any other or whatever chain is allowing wrapped Bitcoin or Coinbase Bitcoin, like the base chain from Coinbase, therefore, cool. You can have $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 worth of value moving on this chain, and you can put it into a whole bunch of different protocols that are eligible or work with wrapped Bitcoin on top of Ethereum. Cool, got it. What a lot of people don't talk about, and this was the thing that we heard 2 weeks ago, when Coinbase announced they were making their essentially own Bitcoin called Coinbase Bitcoin, is that I believe the news was that they were locking up 10,000 actual Bitcoin into the protocol and were minting CBBTC. That literally then means 10,000 extra Bitcoin is now officially illiquid. So a lot of people think, as we are already witnessing a Bitcoin supply crunch, there already is not a lot of Bitcoin. People are hoarding it and buying it, and we have all these inactive addresses, and Bitcoin is 91% is being owned by whales and all these other things. The idea would be, if more institutions get into the space, a really clever, and I put it to you this way, it's a clever way to make Bitcoin supply, active circulating supply, to shrink even further. But also, now listen to this lightly, it's a way to make a return on your Bitcoin. This is incredibly riskier than having actual Bitcoin. It ends up being touted as you take your Bitcoin, which doesn't have a staking mechanism itself, buy on chain. You take your Bitcoin, you lock it into a protocol, you get the equal value of it in a wrapped Bitcoin or a Coinbase Bitcoin. And basically on a DeFi or a Web3 protocol, you can then put that value into that protocol and kind of make a return from it. You know how a lot of coins, you can use your Ether, you can use your Cardano to put it into this, to put it into that. On DeFi, and you make a return. That's the idea of staking or wrapping Bitcoin. This is going to become a major thing in the future. It's not really spoken about by people at large because I think the idea, it's not that it's abstract, but if it doesn't explicitly initially have to do with the price, off the bat, people tend to go, oh, that's kind of cool, and then kind of push it to the side. This is going to be another catalyst for prices moving up dramatically simply because it's going to decrease the amount of Bitcoin even further. In the very beginning, we only saw around, I think, 1 or 2% of Ether actually being staked into the Ether chain That moved to 7% to 12%, and the last number we heard was 33%. It's the same with many other coins. There are a lot of other coins. They have 57% locked into the actual protocol to make money from staking or something else. We are probably, if they start making protocols that like are native on chain staking, it's going to get even worse for people trying to buy Bitcoin. But even on any other platform similar to Coinbase and Base, etc., this is going to take off like wildfire. Like I'm not even joking, because if someone creates a protocol that's actually safe, and I mean like wink DeFi, so not like the other things that were like destroyed by the SEC, but if Coinbase, Kraken, or Binance create like a regulated product that says like if you lock in your staked Bitcoin and you will receive 6% per year on the money, you know, on the is going to take off, and people are going to start staking their Bitcoin a lot more. Yeah, very popular news. It begins. I think there's only 1 or 2 actual staking Bitcoin protocols that are kind of like up and ready to go. If you remember, like 3 or 4 months ago, we got news about, this wasn't about Coinbase Bitcoin, but this was about some other staking protocol that people like were working on and yada, yada, yada. And I was also quite happy in that thing as well, because like this is how you get adoption to really move forward. It's one of the reasons why Ethereum became so popular. Ether was always popular years ago for the idea of being like a world computer. That was the original idea about Ethereum. But now it's kind of morphed into this like passive income chain. You have so many other layers and so many other things and so many other protocols where you can put your Ether and basically have to do jack diddly squat, and you make money from it. The way that I have a lot of friends who are really into stocks and stuff like that. They make money passively every single month, like 5 figures from doing absolutely nothing because they're getting dividends. So this will be the wave of dividends for us, basically. Like a lot of you out there, I'm telling you right now, the coins that you have are only going to become more popular, whether it be Bitcoin, Ether, Cardano, etc. I mean, if Cardano can kind of get it together. And in the future, you will see monthly, you are going to make $800, $1,400, $2,200 just staking your coins passively, doing absolutely nothing. And that will be basically how you make money. The future is very, very bright for people in crypto right now, especially as I keep mentioning, you are early. A lot of people forget how early that they actually are. A lot of people keep pretending or believing that for some reason, you know, we're not the first people in this market. Anyway, yeah, I find this very exciting because this actually sets off a lot of other things for the Bitcoin market and what it can do and what it's going to do and what it's going to lead to. And I think it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Yeah, that's the staking Bitcoin news. And yeah, let's move on. Also, in very popular news, it's not that it's not interesting or fascinating, it's just cool. Singapore's largest bank, the DBS Bank, has announced that they will be offering over-the-counter cryptocurrency options trading and structured notes to their corporate clients. Corporate clients, it's always the same, as we've said before in other videos. We are always, us, me and you, we're always at the back of the line when these companies and banks get into cryptocurrencies. They always offer it to their institutional and to their corporate clients. It needs to be announced and mentioned once again. Do you understand the significance of any bank getting into crypto? Nonetheless, the largest bank within Singapore starting to offer cryptocurrency trading and cryptocurrency custody and cryptocurrency anything to their clients. It's huge. It's actually monumental. I personally do not care for all the banks and the institutions getting within the space. But listen, if this is going to skyrocket adoption, then this is basically what we have. As more rich people get into the market, of course, it makes the price go a lot higher. It brings more adoption. It gets more people into the actual market. People within this space don't realize how lucky that we actually are to be here, what it means to be this early in the market. That's why I've been mentioning recently, it is expected by a lot of people. A lot of people are anticipating that we're in, this is the bull market. October, November, December, don't forget it. And therefore, I hope you all have been buying or have the cryptocurrency that you wanted for a while, because a lot of people, it happens every single bear market. Everyone keeps saying that they want prices to go lower. They want to be able to buy more. I hope you all purchased more. We have never, ever had this level of adoption. The word's not scary, but it's actually monumental when you figure out how many companies and institutions are actively getting into this space. Understand the significance of one company holding 500,000 coins, of the ETF issuers holding 7 figures worth of Bitcoin. They're not the only people who are buying it. You have to understand, as many other banks have gotten into this space and they started offering cryptocurrency trading to their clients, you cannot offer something unless you actually have it yourself. To have the actual liquidity, the banks need to own crypto themselves. We had news this summer. 12 central banks own billions of dollars each individually worth of Bitcoin, and people pretended that wasn't gigantically big news. Sometimes I feel like I'm just screaming into a microphone and that a lot of people really aren't getting it. I still see, and I think this will remain forever, I still see so much hype around meme coins and all these other things, but I think that's just the cycle. It always tends to be exactly the same, but we are moving into a brand new world. We have indications that cryptocurrencies are basically going to take over everything. It will probably take another 10 to 15 to 20 years, but we are at the beginning of something absolutely great. We have this news all the time. Crypto is taking over the world, and I want people within crypto to also realize that as well. DBS Bank said in its statement that starting from the fourth quarter, that's now, fourth quarter of 2024, customers who want to invest in Bitcoin and Ethereum will be able to invest in BTC and ETH through options trading and structured notes. According to DBS, the new offering will allow clients to hedge their Bitcoin and Ethereum positions against market volatility through open option contracts, allowing them to sell their assets at a fixed price in the future. They said, and I quote, DBS today announced that it will launch over-the-counter cryptocurrency options trading and structured notes for eligible institutional investors and accredited asset clients. I guess that's an end quote. There's no end to that actual quote. It is the first Asian bank to offer financial products whose value is tied to the price of Bitcoin and Ether, the two largest cryptocurrencies by market cap. Yeah, it's fantastic. We get good news pretty much all the time. I officially think, oh gosh, my back. Wait. Oh gosh, that was terrible. I was slouched forward and I decided to sit up and stretch. Oh my gosh, my bones feel terrible. Oh, that's not a nice feeling. I pretty much think, tell me if I'm wrong, that nearly all, this is my opinion, all the manipulation in prices that we've been seeing in crypto have probably been coming from banks and institutions in this space who, of course, have been trying to get the prices low enough for them to actually get into it. If you are delusional and don't think that banks manipulate markets, I don't know what to tell you, because that's literally exactly what they do. But if you've noticed, this year especially has been quite weird with all the banks and institutions who've been getting into the space. Like, think of the actual ETFs. Think of all the news and all the companies we've been hearing about from the SEC filings who are into crypto, who've been buying tons of Bitcoin. So I do think personally that behind the scenes, there's been some kind of coordination going on with all of these companies, basically trying to make sure that they can accumulate as much Bitcoin as they want to at a much lower price. There are a lot of people who actually, now this is a controversial take, a lot of people do think that options for Bitcoin and Ether, they do provide like an extra amount of liquidity into the market. But a lot of people think that options for these things is actually going to help propel us even further in price than the actual ETFs could. It makes me curious to wonder if we could get to 500,000 or 600,000 per coin for Bitcoin in 2025. And I say that because if this is your first cycle, what's always happened is there's been some kind of interest in the market. We have never, ever seen this level of institutional interest. What ends up happening is that as the bull run goes and prices go higher, it always makes it into the news, like CNBC, blah, 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 like those kinds of things. And then what ends up happening is more people jump into the market. But we've never had a situation before where like institutional clients and like corporate clients and banks were in the space. Like they've never had options or ETFs and all these other things to kind of throw themselves at. So if we've seen this amount of interest right around the time of the halving, usually the year after the halving is like when the real fireworks begin. So I mean it. Like I wonder like what next year is going to be like price wise, because once we go over 100K, 150K, like that's it, game on. Like everyone is going to go completely insane. So I wonder, do we hit a $500,000 Bitcoin? Like at the height of the actual market. I find it interesting. It's fascinating to me to see exactly where we're going to go. Yeah, that's another bank, and it's also Singapore's largest bank. 9 out of 10 times we get news that it's either the oldest bank somewhere. It's always like the oldest bank in this country, the oldest bank here. It's either the oldest bank or the largest bank in a country who are getting into crypto. So if this doesn't make you extra bullish, I don't know how to help you. I can't help you anymore. I'm so sorry. Of course, this is also popular news as well. Yeah. I think that is going to do it for this video. I do hope that you have all enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever the heck you might be. I do hope it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.